difficulties.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
I was about to say, damn, what did I miss?
No, long story
Gang
short,
war. There was dragons, orcs, elves. My nigga, it was a whole lot of magic shit. It was crazy.
wait. No, we just our episodes were uploading on Twitch or whatever, or saving to Twitch, but they weren't staying in the database.
Damn,
So
that's crazy.
I went back to finally like look at the episodes and be like, all right, we should start editing some and then uploading them to the YouTube channel and all that stuff. And there was only one episode there because all of the other ones didn't stay in the
Damn, that's
database.
crazy. All right,
Yeah,
now I see
so
what's going on.
you know what I'm saying?
All right, y'all.
But yeah, with that being said,
Oh, shit,
anything
we
we
got a
did cover in
stack.
the past, you're free to cover again. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Gotcha.
We got a stacked ass pod today. I ain't gonna lie.
That's what's up. But yeah, with that being said,
Oh, shit,
anything
we
we
got a
did cover in
stack.
the past, you're free to cover again. You know?
Alrighty, I posted the link to the pod. You guys are anybody in here? You're more than welcome to share that all over social media. We are live, but we haven't started. Just give us a moment.
All right, give me a second to post real quick.
Alrighty, it's in self promo.
Yeah, y'all go ahead and do that, and we'll start up whenever we're ready. Whenever y'all are ready.
Gene Skin. Hey, Squidward. Yeah. Okay, I'll copy.
So we have.
I'm not gonna lie, I've been waiting all week.
Let's make sure we have everybody's name. We got Alf in the motherfucking building. We got Big Lex in the motherfucking building. We got Carolina King in the building.
North Carolina.
We got Guru. We're not starting. I'm just doing a roll call. We got Guru the God in the building. You got to remember how to announce everybody's name. I'm just helping you out. We got.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I appreciate the help.
Yeah. We got King Vasto Larde in the building. We got Mac Freezy in the motherfucking building. And the host of our show. I sound like I'm from New Orleans now. The host of our show, Bakura Batsu. And the co-host, Tatusha Sama. Or Mukamara Sama. I go by many names. Alrighty. So. Make sure we have everything good. Sound good. Someone say something? Anybody say anything?
Yeah.
What up?
Alright, cool.
Check me 1122.
Alright, audio good, everything good.
Alright. I'm gonna take that as the cue then.
Cue.
Alright. And with that being said, this is the Casual Crew Podcast. I am your boy HBK Vakora, and I got a big crew with me today. But first of all, I got my co-host with me, Mukamara Sama. I got
Sorry, I had to do that.
I got Guru the God.
Hey, what's good?
I got Just Josh, the Carolina King.
Yep.
I got your boy Mac Freezy. You already know.
H-Town, baby.
I got another king in the building, King Vasto Lorde.
What's good?
And then we got a couple of other guests as well. We got Alf Big Lex,
Yo.
Claire Swan, and a very special guest today, Robbie 9.
We in here with royalty.
What's up, Robbie? How your day been?
Hey,
What's
my
good,
day-
everybody?
It's been good. It's been good. Like I said, this
That's
is
nice.
a day before my birthday, so I've had some nice little early birthday surprises and kind of just handling
Okay.
business as usual.
Happy birthday, happy birthday. I forgot to say that.
Happy birthday.
Yep. Happy birthday. We're going to start off with that right away.
Happy
You know what I'm saying?
birthday to you. Happy birthday.
We can't afford to sing the other
No,
birthday
what's
song.
the
Sorry.
new one that they come out with? Oh, I wanna say happy
They got a new
birthday.
one?
You haven't heard that one?
Mm-mm.
Nah,
I heard
Oh,
about
it's
that
not
one.
the ad libs.
enlighten me. What you got? Got some vocals going.
Birthday today. You know what I'm saying?
There's so many
Start
of
the
But,
them.
birthday freestyles.
did you have any plans for the birthday? Anything you plan on doing?
Yes, I'm gonna be going to Garden Room Atlanta tomorrow, which is like this really nice restaurant downtown that's got like a garden theme. It's like really hard to get into. In the past, when we made reservations, we had to book like a couple months in advance, and we were able to grab it like last weekend. So yeah, I'm gonna be checking that out, and I have invites to hang out with friends otherwise after that. So yeah, it's just chill.
Sounds fancy. You got to make reservations months early. That's wild.
That's what's up.
Look at your backslide.
Best
I'm
life.
curious what kind of food they serving up in there. What they got?
Oh, it's
Really?
nice. It's really nice. They have like this weird dessert where like they freeze a rose with like nitrogen and then they crush the rose petals over like cheesecake or something. It's like really they
Well,
do that
I
with
seen
the
that
beach
before.
feel.
Fancy.
That's
I
bourgeois.
ain't gonna, I ain't gonna
That
lie. You
sounds
had me at weird dessert.
Look,
Mm.
yeah, it's a thing. I'm a connoisseur of like unique places around Atlanta. When COVID hit and we had to shelter in place, I was like, there are so many places I didn't get to go. And so I think after that ended, I was like, I need to find all the cool places. And then when you go to Korea too, and you get used to like that kind of like Japan and Korea, like having gone there and seeing their aesthetic cafes, you kind of look for something on par with that, like here. I think so. Yeah.
Okay. That's what's up. Frozen roses.
That would be something I
Yeah,
would want to see more in the
look that
States
up.
though. Just like spaces where we can go to hang out and chill and shit and still, you know what I'm saying, get a little coffee, get a nice little, but the atmosphere has to be there. And I feel like for a lot of American places, they don't really care about the atmosphere that
Yes,
much.
we need the maid cafe.
Yeah, that's true.
I want the maid cafe. Yes.
That'd be
Yeah, okay.
You know what? I want the crepe shop. I recently just found one out here in AZ, and I gotta go try it.
true. I don't even know if they have those in New York.
Yeah, bro. I randomly found it when I was just riding around in the old side of town.
Crepe shop. Elaborate.
Yep, bro.
Yeah,
Like
like,
you
you
know in
gonna
the
have
anime,
to
like the
get-
crepes. You know how they got the wrap crepes with the cream and shit with the fruit on top, like that.
All right. Well, if you come out here to North Carolina and visit, I got a place for you.
Oh, I know it's good. What you got for me?
It's called the Penny Path, and all they sell is crepes. Half the menu is sweet, the other half is savory.
Oh,
Mm.
I'm not gonna lie. I need to get in the messages with Carolina King because we both in North Carolina. And he always dropping the gems of the food places.
Yes,
I
that's what I'm all about.
Avenue.
Stop the podcast, take a little field trip real quick. Live rhyming up.
Shout out to Carolina King.
Hey,
I hope you got like a 10-bedroom house or something we can all stay in, cause
A lot of us in this shit. That's funny.
There's plenty of
Look,
shade
I
out
know he
there.
got the I know he got the pull.
oh god, just put out a couple of floaties. You know what I'm saying?
hey, have a blast.
Y'all remember that one time I drowned?
No.
He's drowned? Damn.
Crazy story.
Story for another time. Story for another time. Anyway,
Why would you bring it up there? Look,
Right?
oh, by the way, I almost drowned. Yeah, we can move on though. It's not that
This
important.
casually dropped. Remember when I died?
Hey, moved on to
Y'all
the
remember that
subject
time I
mad
almost
quick.
died and was not here?
it's not about me today.
It's pure chaos. I'm telling you.
Sam, remember that and then not elaborating is sick.
Sick.
I hear y'all,
That's
but it's
exactly
all
what the
about me.
Joker would do.
Moving on. With that being the case, what's up with everybody for the week? What y'all do? You know what I'm saying?
Shit, I'm working on getting my Texas license and becoming a citizen. Yeah, citizen. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. What else? Worked on some new pieces. I think I got some. I got my art style down for my female characters, which was a big win for me. So, yeah.
Nice.
Yes. Bravo, bravo. No, if you don't mind me asking, because you said you're working on being a citizen, where are you from?
I mean, I'm a citizen of America, but originally I was born in Arizona, so I'm just trying to get my license out here in Texas as well.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. As for me, I've been running around helping my moms out at the crib and stuff like that. And then
Love you, son.
when I get to the crib, I've been working on my own game that I'm starting up, character designs and stuff like that. So I've been doing that for like the last week and a half. You know what
Hey,
I'm
we still
saying?
gotta work on that. I still gotta pitch you the idea after the pod too.
Oh
I've been
yeah,
trying to
we're gonna
perfect-
talk about that after the pod. For sure.
I mean, if we run out of
But,
like, if we have some extra time, we can definitely go over it.
I've been trying to perfect my cooking skills.
Okay.
Okay.
'Cause I feel like that's
All
very
right, man.
essential.
What you cooking
Yeah.
up?
I don't know. We need
Yeah,
some
what do you-
photographic evidence.
Nothing too major, really. Like, I feel like you have to start by perfecting the little stuff, the simple stuff, and then as you gradually do that, you'll be able to, you feel me? Get right. But I can cook. I can cook a lot of stuff, though. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty decent. And my grandma said it was good, so I know it's fire.
That's you
got the grandma seal of approval. Oh yeah,
I'm telling you.
That's how you
If
know
your
you do
grandma or
something
your
right.
mom say it was good, yeah, you doing
God.
something.
Yeah, you doing something
Make
right.
plates though.
Am I making plates?
Yeah, you gonna make some plates or what?
Yo, you see these food prices?
Gotta send some over
I mean,
here.
I'm just saying
You
for
trying to
the
get a
working
meal
class
for
and the lazy
free
class
in this
people. We don't like to cook like that. I don't mind dropping 20 on the plate.
That's been my
Shit, if
issue
you
all
look,
week.
if I'm selling them, I'll sell them. You feel me? But as far as like, oh, let me get a plate, like you see these prices in this grocery store, or yeah, I should sell, huh?
You might as well. I seen someone come up off that. Those making hoagies and
Good luck.
sandwiches in New York. She came up during the pandemic making her own sandwiches.
Yeah, I seen this girl. She makes infused plates. Like all her food is infused, and I was like, yo, it's probably fire too.
You gotta know what you're doing to be doing that shit.
And that was pure
You
fun.
know they got a whole show about that on Netflix.
Confusing?
They got they got like a whole cooking show on Netflix. Where
I'd be scared though,
they
because I
make
feel like
plate.
edibles are
Tap back
nothing to
in.
play with.
Oh yeah,
They really not.
I learned that the motherfucking hard way with Mac. Yes, edibles are not anything to play with. Jeez, I
My
mean,
boy, not ready for it.
I was not ready. I was smoking and eating. I was not ready for that shit
You
at
was
all.
fucked up then.
Yeah, see, and it like turned on my nigga senses. Like I swear, and I mean no offense to Mac Freezy at all. I swear I thought this nigga was gonna rob me. I was like, yo, I was like, yo,
What?
this nigga's gonna kill me, and I just started bugging. I was like, I know I'm tripping, but I know I'm not gonna
Oh
be
yeah.
able to chill.
What?
Yeah,
That's
bro.
wild.
I was tripping, bro, and I felt bad too, cause I was just like, man, he's a
You've
homie.
been to
Like,
my
why?
house,
See,
bro.
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not for everybody. Like, I was fucking legit tripping, and like,
Been there. I've been there.
I try to psych myself out of that shit, but I was just like, no, I'm not gonna let this go in my head because whatever. Like, I've been robbed before, so it's just like, my niggas.
Nah, that's racist. He thought just because a black man picked you up. Yeah.
Nah, I knew I
Yeah.
was bugging.
Oh yeah, here go this Houston nigga. Oh yeah, I know Houston niggas. Oh yeah, they like robbing shit, right? Oh yeah.
Next time you gotta mess with him.
Look at this
Nah,
discrimination.
but this happened to me before when I was with Vakora too. So I'm just like, I just start tripping for no reason if I get too high.
It's just not for you, bro. It's not for you.
Edible specifically. Like,
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, edibles.
We need to keep you away from the loud for a little bit. Like,
So
my bad, bro. Edible is a little bit too loud. We'll lower the volume.
It turned into training day. He was like, "That's PCP. I didn't know you like to get wet."
I was tripping. I mean, and the
I was like,
craziest thing is the last time I took it before, it was with my ex, and I thought she poisoned me. So it's just like, it's just something that happens with edibles. I just get super paranoid, and I got so scared, and I wanted to throw up. Like, it was bad.
Yeah, that sounds traumatic.
It was very. I learned a lot though. As soon as I told myself,
Learn your boundaries.
this is fear. I was like, all this is fear. Like, this is nothing else but fear. As soon as I accepted that, I just knocked out. I was good. I was good.
Yeah, well, we did learn a lot from that experience. We learned that your threshold is somewhere way below 500 milligrams.
Damn.
We learned something very important that day. Let's turn this into a PSA for the people. You know what I'm saying? Know your limits when it comes to substances and especially edibles, because edibles hit very fucking hard and they make you want to throw up if you're not used to it. So yeah,
I don't know mine because when I got high on some edibles, I was tripping at this party.
Yeah, not everybody's built like that, and then that's okay. Y'all don't have to.
He came in here, was like, "Are you sure you're good, bro?" I was just like, "Oh, this ain't shit." Nah.
Oh god, like we was chilling in the studio for the longest time, but I just see you. I just see you heavily. I just see you like, I don't know, like you seen a ghost or something. I'm like, oh, this is not good.
It was one of those deja vu moments, bro, and I was just like, "Fuck! Like, why is this happening right now?" And it just.
He was like, "Why I did this to myself?"
Wow,
you bro took a bite and turned into
you
Uncle
look like
Ruckus.
when Rukia punched the astral projection.
Bro said,
That's exactly how I felt. It felt like I got hit by fucking some soul pressure. I was just like, ugh.
It looked like you was about to become a next substitute soul reaper, bro.
He was like, I seen this nigga walk into the room and then he started levitating.
I started feeling that spiritual pressure. I'm like, ah, shit, we got hollows now.
Yeah, I ain't doing that again. Anybody else
all right,
have a bad experience?
Back to the topic. Yeah. Who else? I'm about to say, who else didn't go?
My week been pretty chill though, so I ain't really got much to report. I'm over here just taking care of grandpa.
My week been hectic.
Oh Lord, let's hear about it, fam.
I mean, just working, bro. I had somebody like took a break from work, so I had to take off my shift plus like their shift for like a week and a half. So I've been working like 16 hours almost every day.
Oh, that's wild.
And then on top of that, my family runs a business. So my mom, she runs a business. So I come home and I help her with her business like on certain days. So it's just been a lot. I've been making soaps and shit like that, baskets and all types of shit. So it's been a lot of work.
And then that work.
Yeah.
Putting in work for moms. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you give a
Yeah,
shout out to the soap. I know you got an Instagram for the soap page. Make sure to remember to give.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Shout that out.
I will.
Yes,
for sure. I know we got some musty motherfuckers in our audience, so that you know what I'm saying they could use that.
For real.
Like I said, soap is your friend.
Hmm.
Don't be afraid of the soap.
So should we move on to some
I guess you
Alright,
dropped
well,
that motherfucker.
or
But
I was gonna,
I'll go ahead and talk
yeah,
about my little. I've had a pretty eventful week as well. I've been putting in a lot of work for my indie manga, doing promotional videos, stuff like that, and I've also started streaming on Twitch. I've started streaming my drawing sessions on Twitch, and then I'll save everything that I did and I'll post it back on TikTok. So been doing that. I'm also house sitting for my mom's later tonight, so that's some. You know what I'm saying, staying busy.
that's what's
I
up.
hear
That's
that.
what's up.
That's
Yeah,
what's
I
up.
remember I was there watching the stream yesterday. Me and Alpha had some interesting conversations on it. You guys should definitely check that out, and definitely check out the AC and the artwork from Mac. That shit is fire. I think I learned something every time I see him drawing.
Appreciate
For
it.
sure.
Definitely tap in if you like. If you're new to drawing and stuff, I know a lot of basics that could really, improve your just your basic knowledge, and then you can create your own style off of that. So if you want to learn something, you know what I'm saying, come through.
Stand back.
yeah, I'm gonna have to pull up for that myself.
I think we also talked about maybe doing an event here on the Discord as well for drawing sessions.
Yeah, definitely gonna start doing that.
Oh, dope. Yeah, I can teach me to draw.
Yes, sir.
Cause I can't draw for shit.
We all had to start somewhere.
For real.
I'm picking up my drawing skills.
Join, but I'm not the one who does the drawing for my series, so I would just be there for moral support.
Much
Yeah, we
appreciated.
need it.
You
We
know,
need it.
yeah, I need all the support I can get.
Oh,
Moral
that sounds
support is very powerful.
Yes, sir. So anime news now, right? Or a different
I was
news?
gonna say we might as well. We might as well get into it. You know what I'm saying? The core topic of what we're here for today.
Oh, that too.
You know what I'm saying? We could do anime news.
Bet.
I'm definitely trying to hear that too. You know what I'm saying? But I want to get into why we're here today and our special guest, Robbie
Let's learn
Nine.
more about our special guest. You know what I'm saying? I don't think we.
You know what I'm saying?
good.
Yeah, can we get a background story on the most infamous Robbie number 9?
Yeah. So I am a filmmaker. I run a production company, RPX Media Production, and we've done a number of films. I used to work in the K-pop industry, so I speak Korean, speak Japanese, Chinese, Spanish, French, all of that. And we did a lot of work, I think, in the K-pop industry with like interviews and promotional videos for concerts. And then I decided to pivot into film, which was the original idea, but we kind of got sidetracked. And after I did one of our more major projects called Kalimba, it's a psychological horror. After I did that, I was just like, you know what? I want to branch out and explore other ways of storytelling. So I decided to start this new manga series called The Seventh Kingdom, which its Japanese name is Fukushu no Koku. And from some of our previous work, I had already built a relationship with an illustrator named Walla on Instagram. And I've been saying to them for a long time, like, I'd love for us to work together. And Walla was like, well, let me know when you're ready. And after like years, probably 3 years, I finally came around and said, all right, I'm ready to start. So yeah, I mean, we're in the process of inking out the first volume. And it's a sci-fi fantasy action adventure. It's a story about revenge with a female protagonist who essentially goes out, travels across the planet, stops in all 7 of the kingdoms to get revenge against the 7th kingdom for destroying her village, and she learns some really dark secrets along the way. And I mean, it's got underground aesthetic. We've got cyberpunk, cyberprep, solar punk, which you don't see much of these days. And there's a lot of real world influences in the architecture of each kingdom. And even the character design is kind of based on Ethiopian Walaga Oromo attire, traditional Ethiopian clothing. So, and that's going to change, of course, as the series goes on. But yeah, that's an overview.
Let's hear
That's
if
a
that doesn't
really
get you
good
excited to read that. I don't know what does. I mean,
Love it.
wow, you did a really
fire.
good job of explaining it.
Thank
That's
you.
very
Yeah.
interesting concept, and I do like that.
Thank you. And I mean, it's just been a fun process for me because, like, as a filmmaker, you know, you storyboarding is part of the process of filming. Most people don't know that it actually has to be drawn out before they go and film it, so they know how the camera is going to be positioned for different scenes in a movie. And so for me, this is like a portion of filmmaking, except we get to very much elaborate on each panel. So there's a lot of room for creativity, and I mean, aside from the creative aspect, like being fun, like it really finding inspiration from the places you can. Like right now, I'm up to the 18th volume, and our main character actually entered. So she just finished up with like a tournament. And I had to get inspiration for that. So I like fired up my PlayStation and my PlayStation 2, and I started playing like my old fighting video games like Dead or Alive 2, things like that, to kind of just get into that mindset, you know? I mean, it's just
Nice.
Damn. That work.
yeah. I mean, just doing what I can to make it as to make the world as rich as possible. Actually, so we got an announcement earlier this week that I was accepted into Anime Weekend Atlanta. So we are gonna have a booth there. Gonna be doing panelist. I'm gonna be a panelist at Shao Kahn in Atlanta as well. The voice actor for Shao Kahn, the character in Mortal Kombat, actually saw the manga, liked it, and asked me to be part of his convention.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Thank
That
you.
is huge.
Yeah, that's
That is
GG.
really big.
Thank
know a
you.
name, just even to know a name like that, to, you know what I'm saying, give you a leg up in the industry is definitely helpful.
Yes. I'm just trying to make the world as like engaging as possible. You can, because it's not just about the revenge. It's also about like certain themes. Like our main character kind of runs into the idea of like as she's learning the truth, as because what she thinks she knows the truth, and as she goes along, she learns more. And dealing with like questions, I think that like Gen Z, our generation, kind of asks, right? Of especially the older generation, these cross generational questions, like, okay, you see the way things are now, but you could have stopped it and you didn't. You've accepted it. You've developed the social apathy. And so now I'm left to have to clean up this mess. Why didn't you do something? You know, like these deep questions about envy, questions about like this is a philosophy of secrets and family dysfunction. So there are some really deeper topics in there as well. And I guess the key is balancing all of the backstories and kind of sprinkling it in with these deeper themes while also going on this main adventure with this character. So
Yeah,
That's
it
fucking
definitely
awesome.
sounds amazing.
And read. Yeah.
Now, with all that being said, I'm sure some of us might have some questions. So, are you open to questions on your series?
yes, go ahead, shoot away.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go first because this is definitely something I've been wanting to ask since the first time we talked, and I wanted to ask if there was like, okay, I'll just say it like this: can you tell us anything about like the villains of your story? Anything about like the antagonist?
Yes. So I'm gonna tell you without telling you too much because I want y'all to go and read it and uncover the story, right? But I will say this
That's
much.
exactly.
There is in each kingdom there is a royal family, right? And in the Seventh Kingdom, the person who is really behind all of the just menacing behavior is really the king of the Seventh Kingdom. And his name is King Claudius. But King Claudius is not the only problem. There's someone else who is also behind him that has a very big influence. That is someone that you will uncover. There's also another person who is not necessarily integral to the entire story, but the inciting incident for the first volume happens only because of this one person. And our main character, Claire Belcada, does not realize it until the end of the series. And by the time she learns about it, this character has run off. And they come back in season 3.
There's all types of
Yo.
twists and turns.
All right,
That's what's
all
up.
right.
So
Okay.
I got another question about the villains. can you kind of go into maybe their powers, like kind of maybe certain aesthetics, maybe their personality kind of goes with their powers or something like that?
Yes, I can. So something that is going to get explained along the course of the series is power systems. And in this world, the power systems are such that there's really, if I remember correctly, I think it's about 4 or 5. So there's dynamic, there's sentience, there's 0 point, there's dimensional, and then there's abnormality. Abnormality is a tricky subject, but basically think of the powers as like an overarching umbrella. Dynamic is actively engaging with energy. Sentience is passively taking in energy. That basically gives you like heightened senses, so to speak. 0 point is kind of working in tangent with energy that is still. And that sounds maybe a little confusing, but in essence is kind of the ability to emit like force field kind of thing. That's not all of it, but that's kind of the idea. Dimensional is the ability to manipulate energy to open up portals to other dimensions and pull things out of those dimensions into the current one. And that all of those categories have like more particular manifestations. So one person may have dimensional power and it may take the form of like fire. Another person may have dynamic. They may have dynamic. Another person will have dynamic and it'll look like water. Another person will have sentience and they can sense something from like really far away, if that makes sense. So giving you that idea, the King Claudius actually has 3 power signatures. And that it means he has dynamic, he has 0 point, and he has sentience. And in this world, most people don't really have power signatures like that. And if you have one, you're pretty strong. That tends to be like your authority figures, maybe your police, people who participate in tournaments, right, to kind of show off. If you have 2, you're scary. And our main character goes looking for a lot of people who have 2 power signatures. If you have 3, basically no one can touch you. And King Claudius is one of them who has 3 power signatures. That's
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that definitely explains why he's a top tier villain.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah, who
I'm
else has a
getting
question?
very excited for this because there's a lot of similarities between the 2 stories, and I really like that. So I just,
I like
I have
yeah,
some
no,
I have some questions. I was gonna ask, what are some things kind of where essentially where you're at right now? What would you kind of tell someone who is aspiring to kind of get to where you are?
I would say do not aim to copy what you see. And that I say that first and foremost because while nothing is wrong with taking inspiration from what you see around you, a lot of people these days in the creative fields, they kind of just say, okay, I like that, so I'm going to take that and I'm going to combine that. Nothing's wrong with the inspiration, but the goal is to show people something they have not seen before. And if they have seen it before, they saw it so long ago that they couldn't possibly remember it now. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So do not be afraid to be revolutionarily weird, because if you look at anything that catches on, like Dragon Ball Z, when you look at all of the other anime out there, Dragon Ball Z was very unusual compared to what was coming out at the time, because before Dragon Ball Z, maybe we had Astro Boy and we had Sailor Moon. And even Sailor Moon is so drastically different from what was being put out there. That is what made it stand out, and that is what made people like it. So do not be afraid to be weird, so different that you are weird, because at first something may seem weird, but after a while, like I said, it will seem revolutionary and people will really like it. So that's the first thing I'd say. Be as unique and creative as you can. And if it seems weird, keep working on it until it doesn't seem weird to you anymore. 2, I would say it's good to know how to hone your skill. It's good to be able to pull together whatever team you may need. If you're writing and illustrating, that's good. But if you really want to put your stuff out there, the other half of this is marketing. It is not, and I've said this in other podcasts before, it is not a flex to have this creative thing that you've birthed from your mind, from your heart, and you just sit down on it and you don't let anyone see it. That's self-sabotage. Put it out there and let people see it. Just make sure you protect it. So I'm talking like copyright. Make sure you know copyright. That is where creatives sometimes get messed over the most is they don't know how to protect their work. My stuff is trademarked and copyrighted.
And
And then I would
and when did you? Just curious, when did you start doing that? Like, when did you start looking out for the trademark copyright? Was it like recently, or you did that before you even kind of got started?
before I even put it out into the public.
Mm,
Um,
okay.
and I would say the third point maybe is have fun, because that is the core of everything. Like you guys have to remember, when we were in school, how did we learn? You can learn by being forced to sit down at a desk, right? And being forced to solve problems, but you learn the most when you have fun. So never remove that fun aspect out of your creative process. And if there's anything that you struggle with that is not fun, find someone who it is fun for and learn from them. Those are the three things I'd say.
Okay.
I have a question.
Solid advice. Solid advice.
Yes.
How do you feel? Like, do you think? And I guess this question like kind of goes for anybody in here that's like writing a story in general. But do you think it takes away from an action adventure story to not have an in-depth power system?
I would say no, and it really depends on what kind of mold you're trying to fit into, because a lot of like for me, for my series I consider it a shonen, and I've had someone try to say to me, "Oh, it's a seinen because she's a girl." No, it's a shonen. Fight me. It's it's a shonen. And because it's a shonen, I'm very detailed with the world building as relates to the power systems. If you are not really trying to orient yourself too much towards like whatever subgenre or genre, then simply having action that is engaging is fine. You don't have to have a deep explanation behind it, as long as it is easy to understand how it works when it doesn't work, and people understand what's at stake when it does not work, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I also think that if you have a good enough gimmick, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter if your gimmick or whatever the power system or the way that you're telling the story, it might not even matter, because it's kind of like One Punch Man has like, some form of power system, but the gimmick is just so funny that nobody really cares. Everybody wants to just know kind of how he got there, but no one really cares about like the integral power system when it comes to, the limits and all that other bullshit. At least for
So
me.
it really just comes down to like whether or not you can really relay if the stakes are high or not. Then
Yes, like your execution.
Yeah. I was gonna say it for me. It depends on how engaging the story is gonna be. So I'm like, you don't need a power system, but like if you are gonna do fight scenes, and if it's gonna be an action story or whatever, if there's no power system, you still got to make those fights seem like they have that level of high risk, that level of like edge of your seat entertainment. And if that's just going to be through how intricate the fight is or how gruesome the fight is, you know what I'm saying? There has to be a tone that replaces it in my mind if you're not going to do power system. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It could be
I'll
gory,
definitely
it
like
could
to
be
double
whatever,
down
you
on
know what I'm
that.
saying?
as
things
well.
like who wants it more and shit like that.
Yeah, and like however you choose to tackle that aspect, I feel
think
like that's what
some perfect
replaces
examples
power.
of this would be the Baki Hanma series and JoJo's. The power systems in those animes do not make any sense whatsoever. Do they do random? They do random shit all the time, but it doesn't matter because it's an interesting fight.
Yes.
So I would say the focus would be more
I
on the
kind of
action
like,
itself than the
and
power
I know we aren't like discussing Baki, right? But like since that's the example, for one, in my opinion, I think sometimes it does take away from it. The fact that they don't have like the fact that some of these things that happen in these fights are just random things that kind of feel like the author pulled it out of his ass. And then like the kind of like over explanation aspect during the fight. Like that's I guess that's what I wanted to segue into like with another question too. Like how do y'all feel about over explaining a fight while it's happening, like especially in like series like My Hero Academia, Baki, things like that?
I really don't like it.
I don't either.
The only time I like it is when like it's like Hunter x Hunter. Hunter x Hunter did a real good job of exposition,
Mhm.
and whenever their exposition kind of goes on, I'm actually paying attention because I actually care about the world that they're trying to like, get me enlightened on. So if the world is interesting, then yes, I want the exposition. But if the world isn't interesting, I don't give a fuck. Just get to the fight.
Right.
I don't really care about how, JJK, I like their exposition. That's another good one. Like,
Yeah.
you can shorten
Your
it down,
examples,
but
I'll give
it
you
should, if
examples
it's
as
not
well.
your
as
examples all have really good power systems. By the way,
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
I would-
I can see why you guys can like appeal to more of the like explaining during the action because they have really good in-depth power systems. Whereas like I want to know why that works like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like so I get that.
My only complaint with
Yeah, no.
Jujutsu Kaisen is that it tends to be a little confusing trying to explain because trying to explain it in the middle of the fight, I don't know how to explain it otherwise. Attack on Titan, I don't think they really had a power system, but it was a bit different. Somehow
Yeah.
they would explain it during times before action, and then something would happen, and you would remember, like, oh yes, they did say that. I get the
Yeah.
actual backstory or the explanation behind why it works, so I'm just watching, because if you're trying to explain to me like X plus this equals what, like I'm like, okay, all right, sure, I guess, let's just see what happens. It can be frazzling, confusing, depending on when you insert the information. I think it's the timing of when you
That's
explain.
what I was about to get on.
Right.
Yes, exactly, timing.
Because
I
for a
think-
time, like Jujutsu Kaisen, my bad. Go ahead.
Oh no, you good. But
Yeah, go ahead.
the yeah, no, that was. But I was gonna say the pacing is more important than anything. Like you can have, especially early on in your arcs, when you have that slower pace and you're trying to build stuff up in your earlier arcs, it could definitely help to have more scenes where they break down what exactly they're doing. And then later on, when you don't really need that explanation, you don't really want it because it's gonna ruin the pacing. You don't want to enter your last fight of the arc, right, with your main character and your main villain for that arc, and then in the middle of the fight they're explaining their moves like, no, we've already watched all this or read all this up until this point, we just want to see hands. Like
Mhm.
I think that's the important part, is that it doesn't interrupt the pacing.
Yeah.
That's
Straight
what
hands is all I want to see.
does that extremely well, because they have some
I
scenes
just want to
where
add
they-
this in there too. I
Go ahead.
think a lot of that explanation stuff is because, well, maybe that's what the Japanese are used to, but I think that that's also for a foreign audience because we don't really understand a lot of their concepts and a lot of their culture. So it's like, to knowing that it's going to be watched over abroad, they might be like, well, let's explain this, because they might not really understand or grasp these concepts. So as new artists, as new mangaka in the West, I don't think we're gonna have that problem, because I'm like, yeah, I might have to explain some psychic powers or whatever. I gotta explain this, whatever. But I think nowadays, because of how much people watch anime, that a lot of those concepts are gonna get annoying to hear again, because we know how that works. We know they shoot energy out of their hands, blah 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 blah. Now you know what I'm saying? Like, that's at least how I'm thinking about it. So I don't really, at least when it comes to my own writing, I'm not sitting here like, oh, I gotta explain all these things. That's not the first thing that comes to mind, because I'm expecting my audience to understand these things already.
Mhm.
That reminds me of Baki, because Baki over explains everything in the newer ones on the Netflix one.
Yeah, see, look, they explain stuff.
Like straight mid
explain
fight
new
too.
concepts, and then they just let it happen. Like every new ability that Baki gets, and Baki Hama at least, I'm not sure about the grappler, but they go into depth and explain as to why he or how he developed it, right? And then the next time you see him use it, he just uses it. Like my favorite example is the fight with his father, right? He watched earlier in the episode, he sees the roach and he's trying to figure out how he moves so fast, and that's when you get that in-depth explanation. You know what I'm saying? It's like hydraulics moving to the arm. And then when we get to the actual Baki Hanma fight, you don't get that explanation. You just see him do it. And I think that's the important part.
Yeah, like there's no training arc for it or nothing where he has to think about how to pull it off or shit like that.
Mhm.
Because it's
I
not.
feel like they be interrupting the pacing though.
Yeah, that is what it is. Like it's kind of like it's missing a crucial part. Like, why am I rooting for him pulling this off if I didn't even see him struggle to learn it?
Right.
I hear you, but at the same time, I don't really want to talk about Baki anymore because we're trying to
Yeah, facts.
Trying to ask questions about
Yeah.
Seventh Kingdom. So with that being said,
No, I got my next question. My next question, I'm finna circle back to the mangaka. So you got supporting characters in your manga, right?
Yes, I do.
So my question is, will these supporting characters have respect on their name?
Yes, yes, because there's nothing more annoying to me than having supporting characters who are just baggage. Like everybody has hands.
There you
Hands
go.
are made to eat for everybody. So if
There
anything
you
should
go.
happen to a main character, her team can step in, and other people can step in. Um, and I think I'm focused on creating a balance where you make her strong, but you still show that she has a lot to learn, and therefore you see that she needs the team around her to help her as well. But also still kind of showing you where they are in the hierarchy. So, for example, there is one character, his name is Ren, and when he's introduced, he seems very powerful, and he is powerful, right? But further down in another episode, both his arms get broken, and someone else has to come in.
Both arms?
Zoro treatment.
Yeah.
Have nerve on.
Hey, I hope he comes proficient with the feast though.
But yeah, I mean, and I remember when I did my beta reads, because I have a good friend of mine who will do beta reads and they'll come back with questions. And I remember him saying to me, what is the hierarchy? Like we thought this character was strong, but now we see they went up against this person and their arms snapped like celery. So what is the deal, and when will this be explained? And I think that's also where power systems come in, is like I give them enough story to draw them in, and then when the character really gets serious, then you start learning more about the power systems, you start learning more about who is the strongest, who has what, as you're learning about the world with the character. So yeah.
That's what's up.
All right, I have a
All right.
question now, if I may.
Go ahead.
Okay, so when it's all said and done, right? You've released all your chapters. Maybe you've gotten animated, maybe you haven't. Who knows, right? When it's all said and done, what is the message you want people to walk away from reading your series? Like what do you want them to take away from it?
Hope. And that it doesn't matter what your situation looks like right now, if you are willing to take a step towards improving it, things will change. Because in this world, people have accepted the way things are, and there are a lot of characters who are very resentful, and that resentment comes out in different ways. Whether they're antagonizing our main character because they're resentful, or whether they've given up and she has to really try to spur them, or just different forms of hopelessness. I don't know if you guys know about this. I did some research and saw that like the younger generations, like our generation is probably most aware of the world around us.
Oh, yeah,
because
most
knowledge.
definitely.
But equally, though, we are considered one of the most hopeless. I saw an article with a therapist, and they said, in the 90s, when people went in for therapy, they said, when will it get better? This generation is not asking when it will get better. They're just saying it won't. And I think that is an incredibly dangerous mindset, because any progress that mankind has been able to achieve was achieved because someone believed that it could be better. And if you have a generation of people who believe it won't get better, then it means that we will end up regressing. So hope.
There you go.
That's what's up. We love to hear that.
Yeah.
A very important message for our generation as well.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So hope,
Hope and perseverance.
Hope and perseverance. I would say from.
Okay.
Oh no, go ahead. I was just gonna talk shit.
Now, I wanted to ask more about your main character. Your main character, you said her name was Claire Bell, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I caught the name. So where does she come from? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. So
I know you said you had. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, where does she come from? I'll just start with that.
So she, in relation to the fictional world itself, because there are 7 kingdoms. Gosh, I've built this out to like the galaxy itself. So she is on a planet called Praetoria. Praetoria is part of a 5 planetary system called the Upsilon Galaxy. On Praetoria, there are 7 kingdoms. our main character was born and raised in the First Kingdom, and the First Kingdom is so that was also inspired by the naming of the different areas were inspired by the Inuit language. So the village is like Nausak Village, and there's a town called Kinnisisek. So that's where you see like that influence. When I was putting together the mood board for this kingdom, to give you a reference, I think I said in our last meeting, I said Poyang, China, but like think of a place with like swaying grass. Really think of like Hayao Miyazaki. Think of like a field if it was in a Hayao Miyazaki movie, where there's like in the distance and beautiful blue sky, swaying grass, hills, things like that. That's where she comes from, and that area is very peaceful. It's very beautiful, very picturesque, but it's also very poor. And there's a really dark history behind why it is in fact so poor when all the other kingdoms are very advanced. It's really messed up. I'm laughing because I remember the conversation I had with the reader, and he was like, wait a sec. When he finally pieced it together, he was like, yeah. So y'all are gonna like that story.
For sure.
Nice. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to picking this up. When did you say you were releasing your first volume?
So right now we're collecting pre-orders for it because we're still in the process of inking the first volume. But I do have a window that opens up. It's going to be opening up 3 times for the rest of this year. The first time actually being tomorrow. Window's going to open up. People can go to a certain web page and they can place their pre-order, and they can get it with like shirts. They can get it with like poster prints. They can get it with stickers and anything else. And they're going to get the paperback sent to them in like custom packaging.
I've been looking at it for a while. I think everything looks great.
Thank you. So,
And you have like different packs that people can get, like the Lady Kitsune class or the Ren Club.
correct.
Clarabelle Club.
And those are all named after characters. So Clarabelle, Ren, Claudius, Kitsune. Here, I'll send the link in the chat here. So I want people to sign up here and join the waitlist so that when it opens, they can be notified. Because once that window closes, it's not going to open again until October, like around Halloween. And then the last time for this year will be around Christmas.
Right before the holidays.
Definitely gonna get me a pre-order for sure. I'm mailing this.
X.
I can see that. So how did you get? Unless anybody else had any questions. No, nobody.
I have
Okay.
one.
Okay, go ahead.
I have one. But first I want to say I might pick up this Hawaiian shirt because it's kind of tough. But who's your least favorite character?
My least favorite character. Oh, this is hard because oh boy, because each character either represents a personality that I have encountered, a personality I've seen, or maybe like a certain group of characteristics even from like myself that I just put into one character. So my least favorite, I would have to say, because I even kind of like the villain because I love how psychopathic he is. Like, I've definitely made it a deliberate effort of putting the Dark Triad in the personality traits of some of the characters. Do you guys know what that is?
Yeah. Well, I do.
Okay.
You can do it a refresher course for anybody else who doesn't know.
Yeah, I don't. So go ahead and let me know.
So Dark Triad refers to being a psychopath, being a narcissist, or being I think it's called Machiavellianism. And narcissist is kind of like it's all about yourself. Psychopath is like you have no empathy or remorse, and Machiavellianism is like manipulative tendencies just for fun. Like you're just evil just to be evil. And I kind of combine some of those traits and put them in different characters at times. And even the ones that have those traits, I actually really like them because it's just funny how I guess crazy they are, or like how reasonably unreasonable they are is the best way to explain it. My probably my least favorite character is a character that I've written in. He's actually the mayor of the Second Kingdom, and he has no power. He has a position. He just cares about politics, and he kind of gets pushed to the side very quickly. He also gets bodied very soon, or at least in the middle of the episode anyway. So I'd probably say I dislike him because he's integral to the volume that he's in, but he does not really have any influence other than his title, and he's trying very hard to look like he has power, but he doesn't. And so everyone around him is kind of just like, yeah, shut up, kind of.
Oh, yeah.
When he's tough, that's kind of how he's treated.
Yeah, you gotta have at least one of those type of characters in the story for sure. But I wouldn't like him either. This serves its purpose.
Another character, I wouldn't say that this is a character I dislike though. This is one I do really like actually. And I'll go ahead and say Lady Kitsune. Lady Kitsune is a character who is very much shrouded in mystery, and with the series, there are a lot of backstories at play, and I would say that our main character, like I said, she learns about the world around her. There are certain stories that she's unaware intercept with her own. And Lady Kitsune is she's someone who extends more so from the fantasy aspect of the story. She has an unusual power, and she has her own motivation, and she's very she too is very manipulative, but I like her aesthetic. She's got like black hair and like red eyes. And in the vision board, whenever I show people the vision board for this character, before they see anyone else, they're like, I want this character. When you have a shirt and you have a poster, I want her, whatever she looks like. So, yeah.
Do you think that over time your favorite and least favorite characters are going to change?
That's possible. That's possible. That's a tough question to answer because I don't have every single character mapped out just yet. I have an overview that has like certain key characters in certain kingdoms. And then there are going to be volumes that kind of help fill in certain information. Not a filler, because it's important to the story, but
Yeah.
it's more educational for like the world building. So I think that could happen. I could see that happening. Definitely.
Yeah, over time as I've developed my characters, I feel like I've had like love-hate relationships with them, especially drawing them. At one point, you know, my main character was my favorite to draw, and then I was just like, man, I hate drawing in the waves and all the extra details. Became my least favorite, stuff like that. But my real question was, how did you get into contact with, unless you already explained this, I wasn't listening, the media production group? Was it through your artist or?
Yes, that's my company.
Oh, okay. So you started that up yourself.
Yes.
Oh, how'd that go? How'd that happen?
It was something I think I've wanted to do since before I started college, but I just hesitated because I think I guess just being a human being, I was a bit reluctant. I didn't know. I knew that it could be difficult, and I knew that it would require a lot of work. And I think now that I've fully dove into it, I see that it's really just a matter of you being willing to face any area of yourself that you need to work on. Because if you have any problems with confidence, if you have problems with boundaries, if you have problems with asking for what you need, if you are too prideful to ask for help, that all shows up in your business. And if you're brutally honest enough with yourself to face that, then you will be just fine and you will be able to grow. As long as you are oriented towards growing and finding what you can improve, then you'll be fine. And so once I realized that and I took step at a time, I think that was when things really started to pick up for me. I think what really inspired me was when I did my work in the K-pop industry. Fun fact, that company that I worked with was founded by it was like 7 women actually, and some of them were still in college. Some had just graduated and were working day jobs they hated, including me. And they worked their day jobs, and then in the evenings we all came together. And they had like 2 Korean guys who had connections to the industry. So before K-pop idols came into Atlanta, we knew about it because of them. And they would get bids from the companies to say, you know, we'd like to come to Atlanta, send us like a proposal, show us what you've got. We may use you, things like that. And I just watched them, the 7 of them kind of piece together like, okay, how do we get merch? How do we get this venue? How do we get the money for this? And when I saw how easy it was, I don't know if easy is the right word, but when I saw that they could do it step at a time, I said, if they can do that, I can do my business, and you have the right team. And so I think that also was a very heavy influencing factor for me.
Okay. Take notes, niggas. Got because she's
Nah,
dropping
you playing,
gems. She's dropping
playing. You
gems.
got a notepad out already.
Yeah. It's
Stay ready,
honestly
ain't
the
gotta
last
get
time we had
ready.
a conversation. I feel like that's kind of I was being put on game, which I always love. Always love learning new tidbits of things and getting confirmation by the things that you're saying. So it's always awesome to have you on here, Robbie. You are definitely going to be long time friend of the show. Give it up. Shout out.
So yeah, we can go ahead and wrap it up then, because I have a couple more
I
questions.
did have one more question though.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but let's
Okay.
just do one more because I don't want to have her giving her whole series away. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no. Oh, okay.
Like,
No, this is more of a marketing question. I would say, what's your biggest tip to an indie manga creator as far as marketing goes? Like, what do you think is the most important thing to know when you're marketing by yourself?
Build relationships because you can't do it by yourself. And I would say you stand out from the other artists because a lot of artists are solely relying on social media. And that makes sense because a lot of your target audience uses social media, uses the platforms that you're on. So build relationships, look for people who want to cosplay, ask them if they'd be willing to cosplay for your series, and make it a barter and trade. Say, hey, if you cosplay and you do this, then I'll repost it and I'll share it to my page so you get visibility. Look into advertising and other means as well. For me, I went to like paper marketing. So I took a business development class dedicated just to this series. And we had to put together a full business plan and look at all marketing avenues. And paper marketing is something I never thought of. So I went through a period of time where I went with the so I'm friends with, I don't know if you guys have heard of the movie, the Lanier movie, Lake Lanier.
I don't think I've heard. No, I haven't.
No.
I'm familiar with it.
It's on Amazon Prime, but like the director and writer for that movie, like I'm good friends with them. And one day we like got together and I just printed out flyers and I went to like 3 of the biggest malls in my state, and I went to places where I knew my target audience would be. I went to Journeys, I went to Hot Topic, I went to like Spencer's, and I said, "Hey, I have a new series coming out. Would you be willing to put this up so that we can advertise it?" A lot of them will not allow you to do that, but they'll put it up in the workroom for their employees. So their employees will then see it, scan it, and however long they have it up, they have it up. But really not being afraid to go out to the physical world and show what you have. Look for opportunities to go to conventions if you can. Put a QR code on a shirt and have it be a QR code that leads to your series, and just walk around with it. Don't even talk to people. Just walk around with it. People by default, because of psychology, are going to see that and be like, "What's that?" And they're going to scan it. And guess what? That's free marketing for you.
Exactly.
So,
Nice.
yeah. I don't mind taking another question if that's okay with y'all, but yeah.
I have a question. Because like my little sister, she's starting to get into a similar thing. How would she be able to contact you?
Here, so she can email me at manga.the7th.kingdom@gmail.com. I'm putting that in the chat. Shoot me an email there. She can also reach out to my Instagram page if she feels more comfortable with that as well. And that's at
What's your Instagram?
I'm typing it in right now, the Seventh Kingdom. At the_7th_kingdom. And both times for both the email and the IG profile, it's the number 7th.
Okay, thank you.
Put it in the chat
Awesome.
just in case anybody else wants it as well.
And again, another question: where, in case you haven't answered it before, where can we get updates on your series?
So social media, really Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. When we release new volumes, there will be sneak a peek. I have something called the sneak a peek edition. So that's actually what's on Metabong right now, is a preview of the newest volume. So for anyone who's kind of just interested in seeing bits and pieces of the series to get a feel for it, you can also check that out. But yeah, all else fails, I mean, go to www.rpxmediaproduction.com/the7th kingdom, and that will always have something up there. You can see the feedback people have on it. You can see when pre-order windows open. We have a countdown on there as well. that leads you to previews of the whatever of the most current volume is, and that's also where you can access some of our merchandise as well.
Nice. Awesome. All right. Well, does anybody else have questions?
I'm just gonna say this: all the black female audience that love anime, y'all better support her. Y'all tap in now. I'm just saying.
Even if you're
Tap
not female,
in.
if you're
I
a
know.
black male, support this woman. Oh
True,
God.
true,
Got
true.
one.
But I'm just saying that's it's the Kamala Harris of anime. Unless I'm
Oh,
saying
I
too
don't.
much.
Hold on. Hold on.
Follow dude.
Let's not do all that. Let's not bring
Seventh
politics
Kingdom
in.
in store soon. Love to see it.
I got one more question.
Yeah,
I want to know if given the opportunity, would you give video game rights? Like, would you make a game for this manga?
So that's actually another route I'm considering because I know that Castlevania was a video game before it became an animated series. If it becomes a game first, I don't mind. And really, video game adaptations, like licensing, is another aspect of the business that I'm going to be expanding into because that's what a lot of the Japanese companies do. They don't really sell the rights to their stuff, they license it out. So if that's what they're doing, that's what I'm gonna do.
Sounds dope. Because I would like to see like one of your characters in like one of my other favorite fighting games or any other fighting game.
RPG.
Or if you make your own.
If you make an RPG, that'd be dope. I'll play it.
Yo, yeah.
I'll watch
Even
it.
a cell phone game. Hell yeah.
Sure.
For sure. Well, stay on the
Wait, what
lookout.
was the fighting game that you were playing? What was the fighting game that you were playing
Dead
for
or Alive.
inspiration?
Dead or Alive and
We're not bringing that back in the time. So I was say, what if we could have got your character in Dead or Alive? That would have been epic.
Bruh. Or Soul
Full circle.
Calibur.
Yeah,
love those games.
for real.
But
Well, all right. Well, with that said, we're gonna go ahead and close out today's episode. Thank you for being a part of all of this, Robbie. Thank everybody else that came out. Thank you for being a part of this episode. I am your host, HBK Vicora, and we're gonna go ahead and let everybody introduce themselves and drop their links as we close out the episode.
All right, I'll go first. It's your boy Mukamar Sama, aka Tatusha Not Nice. You can find me on Instagram on Mukamar Sama. That's MOOKAMARA _ Sama SAMA. That's where you can find any updates on Psychic Homie, any of my art. Yeah, you can find me on there. It's on all socials as well. So that's it. Go ahead, Mac.
Yeah, I'm Mac Freezy. I'm the creator of Devil Ass City. It's indie manga. I'm also a music producer. Yeah, I post all my updates on TikTok at MacFreezy_DAC. I also do art live streams, as I mentioned earlier. That's at LIL_MacFreezy. You know what I'm saying? Go check it out. If you want to learn something about drawing or learn something about my manga, that's where I be.
It's Just Josh, aka Carolina King. You can only find me here.
Homie exclusive.
Homie exclusive. It's your boy Guru the God. Also, you can only find me here. I ain't trying to be looking. I ain't trying to be found. None of that. Stay where you at.
Exclusive.
That's the dojo exclusive right there.
And to the rest of our audience, you got Big Lex, you got Alf, you got Claire Swan, you got King Vasto Lorde. All of them, all of you, thank you for being a part of this episode as well.
Yes, sir.